Hello, this is Jamie Magritte. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I want to show you how I made this card. Let's get started. Start with the consumables. I have 2 pieces of Whisper White, which I'm going to cut some pieces out of. I have a scrap of Whisper White to stamp on. I have a piece of the Bird Ballad paper, this one here, which is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of black, which is 1 3/4 by 2 7/8. I have another piece of black, which is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I have my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I'm going to be using the Coastal Weave embossing folder, the Butterfly Gala stamp set. I'm going to be using this butterfly in the body and the antennae. These are the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I'm going to be using these 2, which is the 2nd from the largest and the 4th from the largest. I'm going to be using this rectangle from Nature's Thoughts. And let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these 2 rectangles, and from one of them I'm going to cut out the stitch shape rectangle from Nature's Thoughts. The other one, I'm going to cut out both of these, of the Stitch So Sweetly dies. So I'll lay them on there either like that, they fit like this, and then you have another piece here you could stamp your butterfly on. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. There's that one. That's a nice, some scratch paper you can save for another project. See all those nice little stitches? I don't know if you can see them around the edge. Alright. This piece here we can just put aside to use. This one here, we need to run through our embossing folder. So let's bring in that embossing folder. Now the one trick is you want to put the right side facing this part with the Stampin'Up logo on it. Let's just put it in there, close it up, and I'm going to run it through my machine. I'll be right back. Alright, I've got that run through my machine. Okay, then we can stamp the butterfly. Doesn't matter which scrap we use. Go ahead and use the one I've got laid out for it. Now we're also going to be using the punch that coordinates with that. It's the Butterfly Duet punch. So keep in mind how you're going to put it in your paper. Your paper into the punch when you're stamping it. Get it nice and juicy here. I think it'll work this way. Stamp that, and I'm using Memento ink. Okay, and I've got the body. Go ahead and stamp that. I'm not going to stamp the antennas yet, because they're just going to get punched off when you go to punch it out. Okay, then I have a couple blocks here. On those blocks you can either use your re-inker or you can use your stamp pads, either one. I've put a drop of Pacific Point, a drop of Bermuda Bay, and then I used my Daffodil Delight pad and put some onto that block there. Let's actually bring in a piece of paper so you can see the colors underneath. Okay, and I'm going to use my Wink of Stellas to color. So I'm going to pick up a little spot, a little bit of this re-inker on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to start in the middle with this Pacific Point. There's Pacific Point, and then there's the Bermuda Bay. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to kind of do flicking, and you'll see it starts to fade out as it goes, and then I'm going to pick up some of the Bermuda Bay and do the same thing from this other side, and then they'll blend together in the middle. If you need to pick up a little more of the other color, that's fine. Okay, see, like that. And then I'm going to pick up another brush so I don't have to wipe off that blue so I can continue painting. And then I use the yellow on the little spots here on the edge. I'll go ahead and do all those little yellow spots. It doesn't take long to do this, it's actually kind of relaxing. Okay, go ahead and do this other wing. Don't be afraid to turn your paper. And this is just Whisper White. But since I'm not adding any water, it doesn't pill the paper. And the Wink of Stella gives you a nice little sparkle. Okay, now for this bottom wings, we're going to do the same thing. A little bit of the green. Okay, now this bottom one here. If you think your color's too dark, wipe a little bit off onto a scrap paper. If you want more color, go ahead and pick up more color. There we go. Okay, now we can bring in our punch. Line it up in there. And punch it out. Okay, awesome. Now we got all of our pieces, so we can go ahead and assemble this card. First thing we're going to do is bring in this piece. I'm going to fold our butterfly a little bit. And get this ink out of the way. And put a little bit of glue right here on this, just that little part there. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to go ahead and glue him down right in the center of this piece. Now this card does not have a sentiment on it. If you wanted to add a sentiment, I suppose you could move this butterfly over a little bit to one side and add a sentiment there. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my antenna, and I'm going to add those antennae. I find it easier to do it sideways, but whatever works best for you. Awesome. Alright, bring in the rest of these pieces. Alright, need this one next. The little 1 3/4 by 2 7/8 inch black piece, and we're going to adhere this butterfly layer right on top of that. There's not much of a border, very little. But it makes that butterfly pop, just having that little bit of black layer. Okay, then we're going to add this. Center it up on here. Make sure you figure out where you need it before you put glue on the back to get a little bit of a visual. As this has texture, make sure you have enough glue but not too much. You could use your tape runner, that works fine too. I just prefer the wet glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And I make so many cards, I find it more economical. Okay, center this one up. These rectangles are a little bit more space on the ends than they do on the sides. Okay, now we're going to set that aside for a second. We're going to mount this Bird Ballad paper to our 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 inch piece of black. Again, there's not much of a layer there. Tiniest little bit. Okay, now we'll mount this to the front of our card. Line up 3 edges. Set it down. That black piece is a little crooked, but that's alright. Okay, now on this one I put dimensionals on it, but you don't have to. I've done another card without them, but I'll go ahead and put dimensionals on this one, and I'll bring in the third card so you can see the difference. You can also use your blends to color in your butterfly instead of the re-inkers or the ink. I just like the brightness you get with the re-inkers. Alright, push your fingernail into those dimensionals. Makes that paper pop right off, and it sticks those dimensionals really well to your paper. Okay, center this right on the front of the card. There you go, that's the card. It's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previous. And then I've got one other one. This one I colored with the blends. I left a little spot orange instead of coloring the whole butterfly blue. And I did go over it with Wink Estella afterwards, but I like the brightness of this butterfly better. But whichever coloring medium you want to use, it works just fine. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. I almost forgot to show you how to clear off the Wink Estella just wipe it on some scratch paper, and it'll run clear again. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.